one of the things that I have come to realise about this audience, both in advance of today, and certainly as I've been going around and talking to people, is just what a high class and high quality audience you are. Indeed, some might say that you were the elite of the British Gujarati community. And certainly when I make speeches in the House of Parliament, I don't normally have a view as handsome and good looking as the one I had before me today. We've got presidents in the room. We don't normally have a president in Britain, but Meena Jaswani from the London community of Jasani, I beg your pardon, I'm sorry, I'm rushing my words. Meena Jasani, the president of the Lohana community of North London. You are extremely welcome. We don't have any other presidents, but we do have actors. Ms. Bakshi.
Here.
Give us your adding some stardust to us all the way from Everest Farm. Thank you very much for that. We've got writers, we've got journalists, we've got businesswomen, businessmen, we've got chefs, we've got doctors, architects, civil servants, local government workers, charity workers, and bringing the tone down, I'm afraid there are one or two politicians in the room as well. But thanks very much to all of you for coming.
You might have wished Trupti Patel is the president of the Hindu Forum Britain.
Oh, we've got another president. I beg your pardon. Trupti,
she represents more than 400 organizations.
Trupti, you're very welcome. It's good to have a conversation with you. Yesterday, I've got another president. I beg your pardon.
Lohana Committee South London president.
Oh, we've got a president of the Lohana Committee South London. Right, okay. It's almost as many presidents as there are in America. Indian Muslim organisation, Hamid, you're very welcome to. There was a hand at the back, sir. Who's the president? We've got
spiritual leader, Guruji, Rajesh Bhai.
Right. We've got spiritual leaders, thank you very much, in the room as well. As I said to you, it's a high class audience that we I've already been told off once so far today for not booking a big enough room. We could have had at least twice the numbers here today, so I apologise to some of your friends and colleagues who weren't able to get in. It's, as I say, it's genuinely delightful to have so many here to launch this all-party group. Now, if I'm honest with you all, the significance, the influence, the reach and the talent of the Gujarati community in the UK has grown on me over the last 25 years. Now, many of you will already know just what a big and significant community it is in the UK. About 800,000 to 1 million British Gujaratis, and with a history that dates back to the 17th century here in the UK. Over the last 25 years, just in my constituencies, I've talked to British Gujaratis. There are some remarkable stories that have come down the years that tell the story of how Britain has changed and how the relationship with India and with parts of East Africa has changed enormously and rightly so. And I suppose my journey to having an insight into the British Gujarati community comes from in part a very small area around my office in Harrow West, the community of West Harrow. And if I may, I just wanted to share a couple of the stories of people from that community who are British Gujaratis and who I think are remarkable people. Ash Halai, who is here, who helps run the garage that is just opposite my constituency, is both a remarkable man in himself, but is one of a group of brothers who came to the UK at different times. And some of you will know Ash's older brother, Harilal Halai, who his grandmother sent Harry's father to Kenya when he was just 14 years old to earn a living to support the family. She was living in not in poverty, but certainly couldn't sustain the family on our own. Harry persuaded his dad, once he was established here in the UK himself, to let his brother Ash and Naren come over to the UK, and then looked after them and supported them, and together with them set up what's become a remarkable business success story in terms of the West Harrow garage. Harry himself went on to be one of the founders of the Hindu Forum of Britain, and later its chair. But when he passed away far too early, the sense of love and respect for him, and the sense of the Gujarati community coming around him was very telling, I thought, about the way in which British Gujaratis stick together, support each other, have a great sense of family, and are wonderfully entrepreneurial and gregarious people, certainly in Harry's case, in his own way. Ash, thanks very much for coming today. Then there's just over the other side of West Harrow, from where Harry and Ash have their business, is GP surgery, and Nizar Murali, who runs that GP surgery, is a Gujarati, born in Kenya more than 60 years ago. His great-granddad established a coffee exporting business there. He himself trained as a doctor, runs a practice in West Harrow that's hugely popular and hugely successful. He's created the Salam Centre, which is going to be a state-of-the-art community centre in my constituency. Set up children's nurseries, which I have particular reason to be thankful. Elderly care homes, and at 67 ran the Harrow Half Marathon. I'm jealous of him about that. And then there's lastly my friend from Jamnagar, Hannah in Gujarat, who emigrated here from Ethiopia, key to the creation of the Institute of Jainology, and a man who's had a remarkably interesting life, having exported coffee to Castro and Cuba more generally, and met the likes of Pierre Trudeau too. And I give those three examples as testimony to the journey of the British Gujaratis from Gujarat itself, often through East Africa and other parts of what was then the British Empire, through to setting up businesses here and bringing on the next generation of British Gujaratis, British Gujaratis too. Now, several years ago, one or two people started to encourage me to think about setting up an all-party group for British Gujaratis. These are things that take time, all-party groups to establish, to try and identify the right people to invite, and we haven't quite done that perfectly today, for which I apologise to one or two people, but these are things we will iron out. Let me just explain what the all-party parliamentary group of British Gujaratis will not do. We will not be following what's happening in India. There are other all-party parliamentary groups for that. We certainly won't be getting involved in the most controversial issues in India, such as who to back in the Indian cricket.
Can't avoid that.
I'm very conscious that today the Gujarat Titans are playing the Mumbai Indians, and we will not be taking a position on that. We will not be getting involved in issues to do with faith. There are other all-party parliamentary groups on those issues. We will be concentrating purely on economic and welfare issues. Now, all-party parliamentary groups are, I have to say, rarely headline makers. If they're successful, it takes time for those all-party parliamentary groups to make a difference. And there's been a lot of publicity about this particular all-party group, but the danger is that feeds a sense of expectation about what the all-party